be going away from the set guidelines for the running today. It's sort of like a mystery bus tour, you don't know where you're going to stop.
Easy worries.
Every year since our year came to St Francis, we've seen previous friends and strangers from the subsequent Year 12 classes here in the same position. And I think on behalf of Year 12, I can honestly say that none of us ever imagined that it would ever come to us being here, waiting to make that final walk down the hall. I remember 7 years ago, in Year 6, we were very much eager to get up out of primary school. We were really the big fish in the small pond. And moving into Year 7, we were pretty gung-ho about it. That, however, subsided when it came to assessment period. Year 7, you do a lot more work than Year 12 ever does. In classes, we quickly got to know our teachers and their special personalities. In particular, I think Mr. Appleton stood out with his happy dance. And we do get a chance to see you again after this, Mr. Appleton. I know you have a bad back and all, but we would love to see it just one more time. Not the other end of the scale. As soon as we arrived at school, all of the older students warned us against Mr. Civarella. He was very scary. Over the years, that hasn't changed. He still gets the hell out of here. But time went really quickly over the next few years, and before we knew it, we were collecting the school certificate, and the idea of moving into our senior years, and eventually leaving school entirely. I think from that year onwards, Year 10 onwards, was really when our year started to form. Through the aid of things like wonderful retreats and activities, like the Year 10 retreat run by Mr. Hopper, who is one of the most wonderful and beautiful men I've ever met. And of course, who could forget the Year 11 retreat run by Mr. Chris Doyle, who was incredibly funny. But of course, taking the cake, the Year 12 retreat at Pheasantop in Carrickville near Brighton, Victoria. Even though the food was disgusting, seriously, it was borders gagging.
Borders gagging.
But I digress. Even because of all that, oh, and the stream had leeches in it. Madeline, you remember that more than most. But on that retreat, that was really when everyone really came together, and everyone from all of these different social groups, and I don't like to use the term food chain, came together and really bonded and worked together, and it was a beautiful thing. And I think the bond that we share now as a Year 12 group is a lot stronger than what we've seen in years past, and one can only hope that in years to come it's reciprocated through the other groups. Sydney excursion was great fun too. Those who spent their days in the city had a wonderful time, especially on their little unsupervised trip to Manly. Let me just put it this way, Mr. Fuller will never be late for a ferry again as long as he lives. And those who spent their days up in the mountains got a wonderful taste of Mr. Elliott's skills on guitar and vocals, which was actually quite nice. I don't think that to be funny in film. But all of these wonderful times are in the past now. And we're leaving. I think you can liken our journey to a child learning to ride a bike. At the start of Year 7, the training wheels were first taken off. And for the last 6 years, we've been riding along with our parents and our teachers and those who love us holding on to the seat so that we don't fall. Look behind you now, Year 12. There's no one behind you anymore. You're all on your own. time in the future. Whatever you'll hear at St. Francis, you're safe. Do not abuse that and do not ever forget that. To my fellow leaders, who I've been very proud to work with over the last 12 months, I'd just like to say it's been an honour working beside you. And wacko. I have to go now. I would just like to offer one thing to each and every one of you here today, and most of you know what that already is. Do not be afraid. Those four simple words mean so much. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to be yourself. Do not be afraid to stand up and be the only person laughing, or to stay down and be the only one crying. Do not be afraid of the future and what it holds. Do not be afraid to love, because it will be the greatest thing you ever do. Do not be afraid. Those four words are written throughout the Bible 365 times. That's one for all of us, for every day of the year. My fellow Year 12s, we're about to embark on a wonderful journey together. The world out there is a big and wonderful and frightening place. But I assure you that today, and every day after that, we will go forth together, and we will not be afraid.
Thank you very much, John. I was very relieved when I saw John had things written down. A great pleasure now to welcome to the microphone